This is what I finally come up with, and it's based on what I'm going to talk about in the second half of this video, which I can't share, what's causing that. And so I sent to this person that we know I'm talking about the entities, the controllers, the AI of this place are terrified of karma and copyrights. And I know this because I brought up copyright in a session. You've heard me talk about this already. And so if they copy pasted our real world that we created as extensions of creator or creator beings, if they copied that into this mind program simulation, they have broken some kind of copyright law, which means there's somebody out there monitoring these, right? There's also this karmic law and these lords of karma. I hear the word lord and my antenna go up. So there's these laws that they are really terrified of breaking. And even the so-called cabal, deep state, these players we see are always trying to get out of karma. And by saying, well, we showed it to you and we warned you and you didn't stop it. That's their loopholes on this karma stuff, but they're terrified of it if you figure out the real deal and address it with them. So when you say you've broken copyright law and you know why and what it's really about, like the get back to the origin, this is world you stole. So that makes all these contracts null and void because this isn't even your world, your material you're perpetrating here. And this whole world is actually a copy. So when you get into that, they get terrified. All right. So that's an explanation of that sentence. So this is what I wrote to this person. We as healers take on the karma and suffer when we do a healing session. I think that's what's going on. So it's another sneaky loophole. And I think when we do a healing, we absolutely may be taking on the karma instead of the person taking on the karma. So if they attach to you, they give you the karma from that. Well, you should have known we were attaching. You agreed to it, even though you really didn't. You didn't say no. And you don't know what's going on because they have you mind wiped. They have filters and layers over you where you can't see the attachment happening. But this is how they loophole around this stuff. So I think we do absolutely maybe taking on the karma instead of the person that's getting, that has the attachments or whatever. So we as the healer, if we remove all that stuff, the karma gets transferred to us, basically. So when you do a healing session, if any of you out there are doing this removal type stuff, we need to state that we do not accept the karma, nor will we live it out. And any karma from beings who created the concept, the karma goes nowhere other than back to the controllers who caused the problem to begin with. We possibly have been suffering for years from healing others because we took on the karma. Now that we know that, we aren't going to take that on anymore. We do the healing, but we don't abide by that ridiculous karmic law rule. This is our world they copied and stole. It is our rules now. And then I put here, this was my notes to her. I actually said that today when I did a removal, and I'm gonna, this person from my energy, I'm going to talk about that. I think you're going to find it super interesting. That's in the second half. And they keep us down while we help other people succeed. So this healer was experiencing this as well. It's like everybody else is having a wild success in their life, their personal life, their business, everything else. And then the healer is suffering. It's because we took on their karma. They push the karma on us in exchange for the healing. Well, I'm not doing any more exchanges. No, it's all going back to the originators. Not anymore. So make a blanket statement if you're doing this type of work that you return all karma from all healings back to them, the AI controllers of this place, and back to the lords of karma that made up those guilt trip laws. All right. Let's take a pause here so I can figure out where I'm at. All right, so I'm going to go into this part next. and then cut it off and do the second half. Uh, so I have two people that I did do a removal session on, and of course they'll remain unnamed. But I told them I was going to continue to check them every day for a few days and make sure that everything's going okay. So when I went in today, I saw I did a just looked at them, looked at their light body, and on one of them I found an ogre, and I think it was coming from video games, and it was also on me, and it had been hiding. Uh, so I found it. This is kind of what it looked like. Share this. So it had kind of this head, but this body kind of like really typical. And what's interesting is these two are taken out of like, I think Dungeons and Dragons and some other game. So that was what was attached in there. Now, it may not be an entity, it may be a mind program, because a lot of times these cartoonish looking things are like that, but it looked like an entity. It was a little bit hard to get rid of on both of us, but I did that. And then it was interesting because I felt led to put her oh something over her and the other person I worked on, like a veil over both of them, like my Native American friend was talking about, like working from behind the veil, but not like an overlay that they put on us that suffocates and disconnects us from ourselves, but one that kind of encompassed their soul and everything, and as a protective layer to keep them below the radar. And then I put a surface around that reflects karma back. So I thought that was kind of interesting that that came to me in that moment to do.